a lot going on that we can discuss.
Mm.
Can't go on Facebook. Hold on, let me switch this. Edit to Twitter. Let's just support Elon today.
There you go.
Uh, well, it's not letting me. So remove Facebook. Go Twitter. We are live. Okay, guys. We
Yes.
are on LinkedIn, YouTube. I tried Facebook. I tried. It doesn't let me. So Twitter. I even did what it asked me to do, and it still doesn't work. So I don't know what's going on. But anyways, Happy New Year, everybody. We got Jesselyn Atanu. She's our business development representative. She's a true generalist in this space. She's done it all. Chris, did you even know, Jesselyn? I bet even Chris doesn't know this. You teach our ECG class. First of all,
Yes.
hold on. Let me just
I didn't
tease
even know
Chris
we
a
had
little
an
bit.
ECG
I
class.
was just gonna say, Chris doesn't even know that in the CRC Academy we teach students how to interpret ECGs. Which, by the way, I gotta take this class. The next time you
Yes.
do it, I gotta watch like one of
Yes.
the replays or
Yeah,
something.
this is all news to me. So,
I knew it
Jesselyn,
would be. That's why I brought it up.
you're certified in reading an ECG.
Yes, I actually went through formal training, completed the program, got a certificate, the whole 9 yards. So
So she
yes.
Oh,
teaches it to our students in the CRC
Mm-hmm.
Academy how to read and interpret ECG. This is not
Yep.
medical advice. It does not
Nope.
mean you're going to be a doctor when you learn how to
Nope.
do this, but
Nope.
you at least know
so
what you're looking at for when you give the ECG to a doctor to look at it. Jesselyn
so
teaches this. She does everything. My point is, she's a jack of all trades.
so what I'm
Yeah.
hearing is, the next time I run an ECG on myself at our clinic, I can send it to you and have you read it and tell me if it's good or not.
I can do
Yeah,
that. I can tell
she'll
you what kind of
charge.
rhythm you got
She'll
going
charge you
on.
though. She'll charge. She'll
I
say,
hear
A
you.
hundred
Chris, this is
reading.
not looking good, Chris.
So it's better the
Venmo
way
me 100 and I'll tell you what's going on.
it's better the current way I do it. I just put it in the doctor's box and say, "Here was the patient's ECG. Here, is this significant or not?" That's
That's
Yeah,
better.
better.
figure
That's
it out.
cheaper.
That's cheaper. So, anyways, as the
Oh,
title says, business development and clinical research. And business
yes.
development, in the sense of if you're a site getting more studies, we're going to talk about how DSCS helps with that and some free strategies you can do. But also, biz dev can mean a lot of things. I love this term because it's very vague and it can mean
Mm,
whatever you want it to mean. It could mean getting business contacts to upgrade your career, it could mean developing inroads to patient recruitment, which I can talk about today as well, because we have like a pretty cool story. Maybe I should start with that one to get the icebreaker going. So
yeah.
yesterday, myself and Katie, it's already on YouTube. We did our first ever Yuma clinical trials. I have this thesis, Jocelyn. Okay, we're
Okay.
gonna go out in the community in Yuma, and we're gonna interview people that we find interesting. So we're starting with
Nice.
business owners. So the first one we did was yesterday. The best cheesecake bakery in Yuma is this cool guy named Tyler, uh, and we went to meet him. I bought cheesecakes. We interviewed him. It was about a 8-minute interview, and with
Okay.
just nothing to do with clinical research. Just talk. Hey, why did you start this business? Tell us a little bit about your business. I brought up Yuma clinical trials twice in that video because it came up organically. Like I said, hey, we have diabetes studies. Do you have sugar-free cheesecake? They actually do. Um, so a couple things happened from that interview. The first thing, during the interview, he said the last Friday of every month we have a meeting. Uh, we have this event where people from the community come and we invite businesses to come and pass flyers of what their services are. So, as a study site, we're bringing flyers for our studies. It only costs $10 if you're a business to do that, and you get like 50 to 100 people showing up. Maybe one or two of those people screen for a study in the future. But do you know,
Nice.
and this is unexpected. I did not expect results this fast. I posted that video this morning on Yuma Clinical Trials Instagram page, right?
Okay.
An hour later, I kid you not, we get a phone call at the office. A relative of the business owner has diabetes and is
Whoa.
screening tomorrow for our study.
Oh, that is
I did
awesome.
not expect that fast. I was willing to wait 3 to 4 months till something happens. It
Yeah.
happened in an hour, Jesslyn.
Wow.
1 hour.
That is
Okay.
awesome.
I feel like I should put a disclaimer. These results are not typical and will
Yeah.
not be reflective of what you can get, but like literally happened. And I really think the reason, and if you want to break it down, that is business development. I mean,
Hmm.
what am I doing? I'm out there in the community.
Yeah.
They interview, all right, with the camera is an
Hmm.
excuse. It's a Trojan horse to get
Yeah.
me talking to already like influential people in the community.
Yes.
The side effect is the actual content that's going to live on social media forever.
Yep.
So the actual value is meeting these people. It's not the video itself. The video is like long tail.
Right.
And the only reason like we got a response to this quickly is because I already know the business owner. When I sent him the video, he
Mm.
sent it to his relative because he remembers I
Uh-huh.
said sugar free in the video. And he said, "Look, these guys. I was just on this interview, and by the way, you might be interested." So that's the Trojan horse. Now, like
Yep.
now, we're actually gonna get real people maybe 3 months later calling us about this
Yeah.
study from that video. So we plan on doing
Absolutely.
something like this every week with a different business in town. That's business development when it comes to
Indeed.
patient recruitment. But we can talk business development from getting studies for sites. That's what you do, Jesla, that's what
Yes.
you do for us with our company,
Hmm.
DSCS. We just walked through LinkedIn as a perfect example. Why do you think LinkedIn is so underutilized by people in this industry? Like, I know they're watching us on LinkedIn, so it's kind of
Yep.
ironic to say that, but from a biz dev standpoint, even us, like, we don't use it as much. So, what
Yep.
do you think about that?
I think it's a mindset thing. A lot of us have always seen LinkedIn as a place to come on here to either search for jobs or post up on what we're looking for in terms of profession and jobs. But they're missing the key parts, which, from what you just testified on, is connection. People want to connect. We don't want to be sold to. We want to be able to connect and relate to one another on a very, very natural place and pace. So LinkedIn is mostly underutilized from my personal opinion just because of the way we approach it. We just see it as a place where we can come, put our resume, and just connect with people on the plane of, hey, my name is such and such. I'm in clinical research. Oh, you're in clinical research? Connect, and that's the end. Um, we just need to kind of like push the envelope and do more and actually have more of a connection other than I'm here for a job. So that's the way I perceive it thus far.
And you're taking LinkedIn a step further as far as the even like job, like to upgrade your career. And we'll get to some
Yes.
of these comments. If you have questions, put them down. Chris, who's not on LinkedIn, this is the
Ah,
closest to LinkedIn he will get.
wait.
Is
No, no,
this?
no. I actually have a LinkedIn account,
Oh, you
but
do.
the last time I logged in was probably 7 or 8 years ago.
You know, you
Oh man.
probably missed like 15 studies that would have made us
I
millions.
I occasionally see because I get the emails. I used to get significantly more because I'm not very responsive, obviously, but I used to get
Huh?
significantly more notifications. But I still occasionally get a notification. It's usually it's CRA students that want to connect
Okay.
on LinkedIn.
I see. I see.
Yeah.
Perla says, "Let's connect, Chris." So,
Nice. See,
are
there
you
you
okay with
go.
that? You already got a connection, man. You don't even need it. She's on LinkedIn all the time. Jasmine, good evening.
Hey,
Uh,
Jasmine.
Maureen, good evening. Okay, so
Happy
Chris,
New
like,
Year.
yes, happy New Year to everybody too. All right, Chris, for DSCS, we help sites. You want to give people watching the rundown of what we do, and then I want to bring it back to how we've recently started using LinkedIn to improve our services for our clients.
Sure. We offer a number of services. I would say the primary services that we provide more, but the primary services that the vast majority of our clients take advantage of our business development. So either you have an existing research site or you're starting one. So we help onboard new studies to your site. Um, Budget and contract negotiation.
It's a big one.
Yep.
Yep.
SOPs for new sites and providing, Dan and I both provide our clients with our direct cell phone numbers. So if they have questions, generally speaking, you want to come to me. I'm much more responsive than Dan.
Thanks.
You generally want to come to me. But
Find me on
occasionally,
LinkedIn, guys.
yeah, occasionally clients try and get a hold of Dan, but he's not as responsive. He's got
Chris
other
will let
things
me
going
know
on.
if it's like super urgent, then I'll call you too.
Exactly. If I've already answered their questions and they weren't satisfied, then they
Wait,
often.
but you just glossed over the budget part like it was nothing.
Yeah, I'm
Chris,
just saying our primary
no,
services.
let me break it down because you just negotiated a budget for one of my studies. So my site, Yuma Clinical Trials, I'm a client. It's like Hair Club for Men. I'm a client of our own
Product.
service.
Our own
I get the
product.
same leads, Jeslyn, from Julie,
Yeah.
like any other client. I go on LinkedIn. We're going to talk about that next. I go on LinkedIn. I look for who to contact from those sponsors. Boom. Now we're going to have Jeslyn do this for you guys, so you don't even have to. But we'll give, and I see the question from Tia, any networking tips? We're going to get to that. So, but Chris, I talked to one of our clients today, and he asked me about a study I have. It was our diabetes study that this guy's screening for tomorrow. And I said, honestly, man, I don't even remember what our budget is. All I remember is Chris does it, and I don't even look at it because I already know it's like the best thing. It's way better than what I could get on my own. Chris handles it. If Chris says it's good, it's good. If not, then I don't do it. So you do a really good job, man, and you got us like a really good startup fee for our next study that's starting. And I got an email from that sponsor that we should get our payment before January is over. So thank you, Chris.
Awesome.
Our PI is gonna be very happy as well.
Way to go, Chris.
Thank you. Dan's very kind. I try to always do a good job for our clients, and of course our own sites.
I would not have asked for that much, by the way. And Chris got it.
Sure.
Chris got it. And he just glossed over that. I can't let him do that.
Sure. Budgets, it's a matter of providing justification for what you're asking for. And I put the same effort into clients' budgets as I do our own. That being said, if you're experienced in doing budgets, I would say, generally speaking, we'll do at least as good of a job as you're doing personally. Maybe not better, but at least as good. So you can I don't know what the correct term would be, offload that work to us. Outsource that work to us and be assured that your budgets will be as good as if you were doing them. So, and a lot of our clients, that's exactly what they do. We have a client in, where is he? I can't remember the state, on the East Coast somewhere. And they get probably 2 or 3 studies a month, every month. And they don't utilize us for business development or anything else. It's just their budgets. So they're not taking care of their own budgets, and
So
they're
the
very
value
successful.
add for that money they're paying. By the way, did we raise? We were supposed to raise our rates in January. Did we raise it yet?
Yeah.
Oh, we already did.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are we charging now?
$1,500 a month.
Okay. So if you're an old client at $1,300, you grandfathered in. But
Yep.
new ones, sorry, it's sign of the
we
time.
still have clients that when we initially started doing that. Well, not initially. Initially, we charged a lot more, but after we had done this for about a year, we dropped our price to $1,000 and figured more volume would be better, and it was. So we still have clients that joined us that 6 months to a year after we started doing this. They're still paying $1,000 a month. So we don't raise our prices. Whatever you come in at, that's what you're locked in at.
These are for site owners, anyone that owns a site. And Jeslyn is a crucial part of our biz dev team. We also have a few other people that are camera shy that are behind the scenes getting studies using various tools to get studies. So thank you for that rundown, Chris. Okay, Jeslyn, this one's all you. Networking tips, I'm assuming with LinkedIn, but with anything.
Yeah. So with LinkedIn, since that's the primary focus of today's conversation, is you definitely want to have your personal LinkedIn page properly set up. So Have a photo, something as simple as your profile picture. That's critical because, again, when you're introducing yourself in real life to a person, they are physically seeing you. So, versus LinkedIn, you want to make sure people can see who they're having any kind of, written conversation with. So, your profile picture, your name, your title, have your entire resume, whatever it is that you are involved in, whatever that is, make sure is very concisely and detailed into your entire LinkedIn page. And then, of course, from that point on, it's just more of connecting with people who are in the same industry with you. And again, the biggest keyword that I would suggest is let it be organic. Don't force it. So the first time you introduce yourself, do not introduce yourself and try to get that person's entire life history or try to get them to hire you as, I don't know, the CEO of their company. So, let it flow organically. Introduce yourself, and then the biggest key is connect. Connect, connect, connect. So, have some kind of conversations when a person posts something, plug in. If they have a comment, respond to that. If they send you a message, respond to their message. So, again, the biggest catch is connection. So, once you set up your LinkedIn page properly with a profile picture, start connecting with other industry professionals and not just the top gun from all works of life. So, from the CEO all the way down to the janitor. If you can find one, connect with them. And then just make sure the connection does not stop at once you've sent them a request and they accept, do not let it die there. Push the envelope, you know, respond to whatever they post, share their post and add your comments and respond to other people as they respond. So again, that interaction, it's not in person, you take that online. So same way where when you are in a social gathering, when you're talking with people, that concept should apply on LinkedIn. So I can go on and on about that, but I'm just going to cut it right there and just say connect, connect, connect. Make it organic and let it not just be about self interest. Meet people where they are and try to get to know them on an organic level.
Hmm.
So hopefully that
I
answers
love
your
that.
question.
I love that Jesselyn's part of DSCS because she's one of the most professional people in our organization. You definitely
Thank you.
balance out me and Chris. Um, I wanted to tell you something though, like to add on. We got more questions here. I wanted to add on to Tia's advice. So I actually told our coordinators this before I shot the video with the cheesecake guy. Everyone thinks it's crazy. It's crazy. Even other site owners, they're like, "Well, why are you wasting time doing that? Like, it doesn't seem like there's enough ROI." And my answer is, there's not enough ROI until there is. And by the time you get there, there's no way you can get to. So there's like a leap that's made where it's clearly there's no ROI. We're just plugging and chugging doing these videos.
Mm,
And then you get to a point where it's like you can't imagine life without this strategy.
yeah.
And it just kind of like happens, like there's no like day where you're like, oh, now it makes sense. It
Well,
just it starts making sense, but it doesn't make sense until it only makes sense to do that. And for us to happen in an hour, but for most people it's going to take 3, 4, 5, 6 months. So I think as far as networking is concerned, do things that other people are not doing, because the
Yes.
ROI does come, but like everyone laughs at you until they don't laugh anymore.
Yep.
sure.
And
And I
consistency
think
is
that
key.
I think that's actually, I don't know if symbolic's the right word, but symbolic of where we're at with our culture, right? Everybody's looking for instant
Mhm.
gratification.
Oh,
So
yes.
if it takes any work, or even worse off, hard work to accomplish something, they're not interested. Just give it to
Yeah.
me
One
now.
step further, if there is an opportunity where you fail or you look foolish, that's like a negative, like for people not to do this.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said, like, it's funny. I told one of my coordinators today, I said it's funny until it's not.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's funny not to do it.
Right.
And that happened like in one video, really, with like human clinical trial. But if, like in the case of LinkedIn, if you're trying to network with people, and like Jeslyn said, being consistent with them, like, yeah, it makes no sense to do all this work and reply to people's comments and give your opinion. You're not making anything out of that. Matter of fact, you're risking by putting yourself out there. But once you start noticing benefits, you can't imagine life without that.
Absolutely. And I can't remember who said it, and I'm going to butcher what they said because I can't remember specifically, but it was something to the effect, if you haven't failed 1,000 times, then you're not trying.
Yeah.
Right. Which really makes sense if you think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're trying, you're trying different things all the time. If you're truly trying, you're trying different things all the time, and they're not always going to work.
All right, let's go to a few more of these. Perla says, I would also say that you maintain your relationship with those connections. Absolutely.
Yes.
And then last one before we got to go, because I know we all got to go. John says, in a case where you have previous career on your LinkedIn profile, all right, let's say you were in real estate and now you're in research, but you want to integrate into a CRA, so you want to become a CRA. Should you remove your previous career history or build upon it?
Well,
Go ahead, Chris.
No, ladies first. Absolutely.
I'd say build upon it, because at the end of the day, that is experience that you had. Now, of course, if you do not have transferable skills and you have, let's say, 2 years within a different field that has transferable skills that you can use, you don't want to lose that. And with the way clinical research is kind of growing, they love to see some diversity being brought in from other industries. So I would say definitely look closely at where you're coming from, see what's transferable, and how you can transfer that into clinical research. And then, of course, as you start getting your feet wet in clinical research, build on that and grow from there on.
So I was just going to say I'm not a LinkedIn expert, but when you prepare your resume for a job, they want to see that you've been doing something. They don't want to see gaps in your resume. They don't want to see, hey, you were unemployed for 2 years. What happened here? You go to prison? So unless you have a legitimate explanation for any gaps in your resume, it's better not to have any gaps, regardless of what you're putting there. Don't have a gap with your timeline in terms of work history. And I would assume the same's for LinkedIn, but maybe you're not putting dates. I don't know. Again,
No,
I'm not
you
an
are.
expert on
Yeah,
LinkedIn.
LinkedIn's your resume basically. Like, I think it's more important these days than your actual resumes. Your LinkedIn, like a lot of hiring managers, job recruiters. First thing I did when this person we interviewed today, the new employee that we might hire, I looked at her LinkedIn, and it's like the first place I went to, and to make sure, and then I confirm it with her CV that she gives me, and then I confirm with what she tells me during the interview to make sure it all makes sense and it all lines up. So no, Chris, you're absolutely right.
So being that's the case, yeah, you should have, from the time you start working to current time, you should have something explaining your history, right? It could be school. It can be school. They're fine with that. Or it should be work. So just make sure all the years work out, that you're not, in jail, in prison, sitting on your butt doing nothing, whatever the case might be, right?
Yeah.
You just don't want look, they assume the worst. So
Yeah, it's risk mitigation.
There are instances where you do have a credible time when you're out of work, but then
right.
again, in the interview space, you will explain and justify that, but don't clean out or completely delete your experience or your past life because of clinical research, because then you're a newborn baby. Who are you? And where did you
So
come
and just to elaborate on that, I've actually heard people, supposed professionals in resume development, not Ashley, who does this. I haven't talked to her about
from?
this
She
Ready.
does this
specific
for our
item.
CRA and CRC Academy.
Yes, but I've heard others say something like, you're a stay-at-home mom for 3 years. Actually put that on your resume.
Yeah.
Oh
Right?
yeah, absolutely.
So it accounts for that time period.
Yeah.
If you had a severe car accident, right? Put that on your resume. You need to account for your time. Otherwise, again, they just assume the worst.
Right.
Yep. I promised you guys 20 minutes, so we're done. Happy New Year to everybody. Final
Yes.
closing remarks from Jeslyn and then Chris.
Well, closing remarks is it's 2023. Let's make this year count. Let's do what we've never done before so we can get what we've never gotten before. So,
Wow.
whatever it is you have in your mind, go for it and let nothing stop you. Know your vitamins and keep going, keep persistent, be consistent. You can hear 100 no's, but guess what? You're going to hear
Wow.
one yes if you persist. So, let's do
Jeslyn, you're
it.
motivating me. I'm
I
going to do
know.
another YouTube
I
channel.
I am. This is how I motivate myself every day because it is tough. It is tough, but
I'm
you
sold.
have to be tougher.
If you're not
So
connected to Jeslyn, go do it now. Her
But
LinkedIn's underneath.
take your B vitamins so you can keep up.
That's
yes,
right.
there you go.
And I learned not to take vitamin A because it's a systemic retinoid, but that's another topic.
Okay.
Chris, last remark.
Yeah, I don't really have much of anything, but if you're interested in our services, please reach out to Dan or myself.
Ah, perfect. And Chris
Yes.
does not have a LinkedIn, so I will be his LinkedIn for him. Thank you guys. Happy New Year to both of you. It's
Yes.
great to be working with you guys both. Thank you, everybody, for watching.
Indeed.
Keep your questions coming. We'll be going live more often. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Go follow Jeslyn.
Have a
Bye-bye.
good New Year. Bye bye.
Happy
Happy
New
New
Year,
Year.
y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye.